doing this, don't we? This is Dan Murphy along with my partner in crime, Tom Smith. How are you today?
This is great. It's something we've been looking forward to. We're
Oh,
waiting
yeah.
on it. And listen, we're just going to play a quick intro about what we got coming up tonight with our special guest.
Mm-hmm.
And no one go anywhere. And this is going to be a lot of fun. Here we go, everybody.
Strap in. Okay, there we are. That's our intro for tonight. And a woman who barely needs any introduction to anybody in New York City who we have tonight. Tom, tell us about our special guest.
You know what? Vicky Palladino is a legend, superstar, whatever you want to call it in New York City, everyone who's not New York City, welcome to Vicky Palladino. And, Vicky and I did a couple of Newsmax hits together. And as soon as we did, I'm like, we have to get her on talking
Yeah.
about this insane mayoral race in New York City. Vicky, it's a pleasure. Good evening. How are you?
I'm good, Tom. How are you? Hi, Dan.
Hi, Vicky. We're doing great, and we couldn't think of anybody better to come on to talk about the chaos that's going on in the New York City mayoral race, a city we both served, all three of us love. We're children of the city. Vicky, tell us your thoughts, anything you want to tell our audience about what they need to know about what's going on in the New York City mayoral race.
Well, right now, as you so said, this is like an alternate universe. Never being born and raised here, seeing mayors run and some win, some lose. This is absolutely bizarre. I could have never, ever foreseen a communist running, seriously running, and Cuomo rise from the dead. I mean, he's governor. He killed our state. He killed our city. And he blew a 40-point lead in the Democratic primary because he ran as a shadow. He ran because you know why? He was actually afraid to come out, and he thought his name recognition was going to be enough.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
relying on that in the element that we're in, because its past is such a recent past. You can't run from COVID. You can't run from bankrupting our small businesses. You can't run from killing the elderly in nursing homes. You can't run from firing and our mayor that's presently in office right now, and it happened with de Blasio. You can't run from firing people who were your first responders, your doctors, your nurses, your teachers. These people are still suffering. So he caused all of that down here. Now, if you want to go statewide, you could talk about bail reform, and you could talk about his lousy record as a governor. So now he thinks he's going to come down here and fix what's broke. No. So now after that, you got Curtis Sliwa, who came out now for the second time. The first time was in 21, and that was dismal. Though he did better than Maliatakis in 2017. Now we have, who else is in the middle? We got, of course, our incumbent.
Right.
And we're in a mess. This is a mess. This kid has he's cleaned the streets with all of these polished politicians. And make no mistake, he has been out in the forefront telling you and us exactly what it's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's scary as hell to think that people are actually thinking about him.
Yeah. You know what? And you're right. Scary is the best word because as of today, and you can, I don't know what's going on in the city, but you got Memdani at 35%, Cuomo at 25, Sleewood 14, and Adams, the incumbent, at 11. I don't understand. And here's what ticks me off, Vicky, and this is what I want
Mhm.
you to respond to. I've heard it. I had an argument, not an argument, discussion with someone today about
Mhm.
this.
It was an
And
argument.
you get, well, New York City is going to get what they vote for. But here's the difference. New York City isn't like every other city. What happens in New York City resonates around this country and the world.
Mhm.
Hmm.
That's the problem. Yeah, you can say that. Like, yeah, hey, they're going to get what they wish for, but that's not the case.
Correct.
This resonates around this country of what happens in this city.
Well, as the saying goes, uh, so as goes New York, so goes the world.
Hmm.
And that's no joke. And you know what, Tom? I got in a little bit of an argument as well. Because when I hear people say, well, New York's going to get what they deserve, sorry, we don't live in Arkansas. We're not out in Minnesota. We're talking about the capital of the world.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, take your whatever and keep it wherever you live. But we here love this city and we don't want to see it fall. So all these wishers, the bad wishes, all of this that they're trying to put across, it's not the first time we've heard it. We've heard it many times. But this is life or death.
Hmm.
There is no getting around this.
Hmm.
So,
Growing up as a kid in Queens, I watched the city. All I knew, I was born in '62. All I knew was that the city had its good areas and it had its bad areas.
correct.
And it was a lot of bad areas. And by the time I became 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in the early '70s, it got to the point where crime was out of control.
Hmm.
Movies were made about it. It was just rough. They were laying off cops. The subways were dangerous. And this is John Lindsay's leadership
Correct.
at the time. His failed leadership helped accelerate a descent in New York City,
Hmm.
a city that is simply too important to America and to the world to fail. It just
Hmm.
is. It's the spotlight for finance, for entertainment, for you name it. There's just so many reasons why you want to save New York. We lived through a bunch of bad stuff, and then in '94, Rudy Giuliani comes in and he sets about to straighten things out again. And he took all the city agencies and all the resources, and we all worked together and we did amazing things in New York City. And since then, what have we seen? We've watched it unravel. And
Hmm.
this guy's going to take it on steroids.
Yeah. I mean, I was around. I remember John Lindsay only because I was young then, but I remember the conversations in the house.
Hmm.
And you want to know one of the things? Now, it sounds silly. He's so good looking.
Hmm.
Really? I mean, is that the best you got? But
I,
they did say, when I say they, I'm talking about my family, the women, and that, and so on. But when we look at what they did, the demise, and I got married in 1974. I was 20 years old, and we went to the city. We did whatever we could. Times Square was going down and
Hmm.
fast. We were going to Broadway shows once or twice, 3 times a year. We loved to go out for dinner. And all of that stopped because my husband, myself, and some of the friends we go with, I said, I don't feel safe. I never said that ever. And we stayed in Queens, and everything we wanted to do was here. So that was fine until it wasn't. And like I said, and you said it, Dan, you watched everything go. Now comes our savior, Rudy Giuliani. But let me backtrack a second. We had Koch, we had a Beam, we had a budget back then, 28 billion, 32 billion. Our cops were taken care of. Here's the difference. We might not have liked them the way we love Rudy. However, they loved the city
Hmm.
and they always wanted what was best for the city. So when you're working with that mentality, and that level of intelligence, not so much a Beam, but Koch. Let's
Hmm.
give it to Eddie. Okay. May he
Absolutely.
rest in peace.
Hmm.
I
Yep.
mean, he was wonderful. We laughed. You know, we might not have agreed with a lot of his policies, but when it came to brass tacks, nobody loved the city more. And then
Absolutely.
you go to Dinkins. Whoa, that was a smack in the face. And along comes Rudy. And he talked about his broken glass, uh, what are they? Broken
Broken
glass
windows.
policy.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And we said, wow, he's going to start with that, with all the trouble we have. And he's going to worry about those squeegee guys. That's the conversation. But yet, he was 100% right. Then
Right.
you put Ray Kelly, you put in my good friend who just passed away, Bernie,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and he was in charge of Rikers.
Hmm.
And then he took him on as police commissioner.
Yep.
We had Pataki upstate. It's what we called the trifecta. And
Hmm.
everybody benefited from that.
Right.
Hmm.
Not only were we happy, we were safe. Our economy was booming. 9/11 hits. We couldn't ask for better leadership. Just try to compare apples and oranges to what we have today.
Hmm.
These people who destroyed Rudy Giuliani, they're not fit to shine his shoes.
Right.
And this is where we are right now. It's a terrible mess to be in.
Yep. And you know what? What gets me is we're the greatest city in the world, and this is the best we got.
Mhm,
That's the part that drives me crazy. You look at
mhm.
this lineup, and it's like that. This is what we got. You know, this is what New York is producing. But what I want to get into, Vicky, is the people who are out there. You know, hopefully, around the country who's listening to us right now. Let's give a little insight into what Memdani is actually proposing that we're all terrified of. You
Hmm.
know, they probably know the name, they've seen him on TV, they've seen him run his mouth a couple of times, but let's get into the absolute nightmarish policies that he's thinking of throwing in New York City into, the dark ages, that's for sure. What are some of the things he's proposing, Vic?
Well, I tell you, we start first with the police. You guys were cops. He wants to di- uh, not dismantle, he wants to dismantle you. He doesn't want to fund you. He wants to do away with you. And I had several top brass in my office today to discuss things in my district and throughout the city. And it was heartbreaking because I'm looking at guys 20 years on the job, 27 years on the job, and they want to make them into social workers. This is a very scary thing. He thinks homelessness is like what kind of what Adams is doing, whereas you have to leave them alone. We'll send a social worker to take care of them. Now we go into the more centralized system of what he wants to do with dismantling New York. He wants to do away with privatizing, all our little businesses and stuff like that. He wants them gone. He's got a whole plan in his head, eminent domain, whereas the city will come in because he doesn't believe anybody should own anything.
Hmm.
He doesn't like millionaires. He doesn't like billionaires. Well, who do you think keeps the city afloat?
Hmm.
Right.
Okay, that's the way it goes. And this kid laid it all out. It's right out of the book of Marxism.
Hmm.
Yeah. This guy is a radical with a capital R who, well, first of all, so many things he's proposing are not constitutional. They're simply
Right.
not. But if he would try to impose them in New York slowly or incrementally, it's already starting to happen anyway. The whole
Hmm.
socialism push. But you take away personal property, the the amount of people and money that are going to bail out of New York City, the businesses that are going to
Mm,
just pick up, and they
God.
have. They
They're
did under
already making plans. I
yeah.
Right.
mean, the day after he won the primary, everybody's phones were lighting up. Real estates. We are the economic capital of the world. And what we're seeing happen here is Wall Street. We lose Wall Street, we lose it all. That's it. Done.
It's
So
over.
it's over.
Hmm.
Exactly. And the idea that 465,000 people, and if you add the others, it comes out to close to 600,000 out of 1.1 million people who voted in the primary are all his people. Now,
Right.
you talked about the polls right now, where he's polling. That's a good thing. And I'll tell you why. I think he's capping out.
I agree.
And if that should happen, now you got a split. You got Cuomo and you got Curtis and you have Adams. What are people going to do? Which way are they going to go? We got a situation here.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, what the best case scenario is the other three team up
Of
to
course.
prevent this. That's Cuomo drives me crazy because you already lost. You had your shot.
Yeah.
You had your
Mhm,
shot. You lost.
mhm.
Move on. Go do something. Go host a talk show somewhere like they all do, and get hired by another network. Whatever. But I don't. Him. I mean, it's just ego. He can't even come to the fact that he lost. He just can't get over that, and that's
His
why he's sticking
ego.
around. Yeah, I mean, his ego is the size of Manhattan,
Hmm.
and that's the problem. But there's got to be a working group to get against this. And one of the other things he's proposing, which is the most absurd thing in the world, and this is why that people don't understand this. First of all, the 400,000 that voted for him, the only thing they hear is free. Oh,
Hmm.
free. Oh, free stuff. Free. Okay. But when stuff is free, other people are paying for it, first of all.
Hmm.
Secondly, who's controlling it? He is.
Hmm.
Now, this notion of making grocery stores controlled by the city.
Hmm.
Everyone just real quick, and Vicky, jump in. If he wants to one day wake up and go, nah, the Lower East Side isn't getting their food delivered today.
Yeah.
That's it. Done. You're not
It's
getting it.
going to be Venezuela
Right.
and worse
Mhm.
Right.
because, everybody here, we're a little spoiled. You walk in, there's
Mm-hmm.
aisle after aisle. You could buy food. You could buy any kind of from any country, anything
Mhm.
you want. Imagine being told on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you could buy beef. But you
Right.
know what? Stand online.
Mhm.
And when that's gone, you won't see it again till next week.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And this is it's rationing.
That's
How
right.
is this going to work? Now, another thing which everybody should keep in mind, my city council wants him really badly to win.
Mm-hmm.
I operate in a radical left wing progressive city council. We have got, we break up into different caucuses. The Progressive Caucus is the largest caucus in our city council, and they rule the roost. So if it's somebody like him gets in like that, everything will
Yeah.
pass.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mhm.
there's a lot of things he's proposing that's unrealistic because he has to go to the state for it. Now, where's Hochul sitting with all of this? Who it's anybody's guess. She's one of the few who have not yet come out in favor of him. All the other Democrats are falling in line.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Schumer, Tish James. You've got a bunch of them. What are you, nuts? I mean,
Mhm.
come on. What are you thinking?
Right.
But if this is the way, see, this goes to show you how afraid they are of their own party.
Mhm.
The Democratic Party is dying.
Mm-hmm.
And you could talk to anybody who's a JFK Democrat. They will tell you that this is no longer my party.
No.
They said it a while ago, but I think now they mean it more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
This is not them.
Right.
So here they are. I could speak for a lot of this. All these people who voted for Tish James and continuously voted for Chuck Schumer and the likes of them that think like that, they were never sorry they voted for them, even though they disagreed with their policies or whatever. They made excuses. Now they're not making excuses anymore
Mm-hmm.
because this is what the Democratic Party has turned into. So those blue dog Democrats, they voted for me. And that's important. So there's
Mm-hmm.
enough of them out there. But the question is, our average mayor's race in 21 had 1.1 million people vote. The election prior, which was, I was 21, the election prior was de Blasio's final 4 years, 880,000 people in total. When are people going to wake up? They must get out and vote. For God's sakes, you got 11 days to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
10 days early and the actual election day. What are they waiting for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
No,
mean, just to put that in perspective, Dan, you go in a second. Just I'm
ahead.
gonna forget this if I don't.
Mhm.
You know, just to put that in perspective, there's 9 million people in New York City,
Mhm.
and 1 million voted, and
Mhm.
800,000, like you just said, in another one. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
You know, it seems to me the Democratic Party, and I was as a kid. My parents were the children of immigrants from Ireland. They
Mhm.
were Kennedy Democrats. They were union members, union workers. That's what my family was.
Mhm.
And when I first voted at age 18 was 1980, and I voted for Reagan because even then my family was starting to see the shift away from the working person in the Democratic Party. We saw Jimmy Carter's failed 4 years, abysmal. But that's when I think the money, the foreign money, the radical money started coming in and seeping in and making its influence. There was a time when calling somebody a liberal put them on a defensive. That was a bad word. I'm not a liberal. I just believe in helping people.
Mhm.
Then liberals became everybody's liberal. It's cool. Democratic Party went liberal. Then they went socialist, and they're still going socialist. And now they're not even afraid to be called a socialist.
No.
Never mind what a socialist really is. Never mind the damage and destruction and devastation that socialism has done around the world. But this guy's a communist.
Right.
Correct.
Socialism is a
Absolutely.
financial system. He is a communist. He believes in complete government control, no personal property ownership, rights when I tell you you have them. That's what
Mhm.
this guy's all about. This is what's so scary. The whole party, as you said, is behind him.
Well, you
Right.
see what's going on in England. I mean,
Oh,
what's going on that was on my bucket list. I wanted to go to Great Britain. I wanted to see the green fields, the little towns, and I wanted to go to Ireland, which I'll get there. But the point is this: we're watching these countries fall,
Mhm.
and these are proud with rich, rich history like ours, but we're only 250 years old next year. When you watch these people infiltrate, and that's what it
mhm,
is, and they start with the kids with indoctrination in our schools, and they slowly seep in till eventually they're mayors of all these cities,
mhm,
and they got Sharia law set up in England, in London, that there's certain parts you cannot go to. And what do you think's going to happen here? The other night in Howard Beach without permits or anything like that. 400 or more were kneeling and praying to Allah in the park. Now, if you or I try to do that, well, guess what? Where's your permit? Where's your this? We could never organize like that. And yet the police walked away. The council member in that district, a good friend of mine, she got the police, she got whatever she needed to break that up. What I'm trying to say is this: they are going to do whatever they want, wherever they want. And let's remember this brat that's running, trust fund baby, $2 million a month in rent. Okay. He is going to dictate to us how we live. He wants to take a big eraser and just erase not just New York, our heritage, our history. You know, we thought we had it bad when they talked about taking down Teddy Roosevelt, and they did. When they talked about taking down George Washington, and they did. This guy is going to put all those people to shame. So, to Tom's point, how we have watched it slowly decline. And to you, Dan, this is on steroids. That is an understatement. So now you got this guy in the high 30s, 35, 37. What are the other three going to do? Are they going to come together and try to figure this out? Did you hear what Governor Patterson said?
No.
Okay. Governor Patterson said the other day, he actually made some sense. He's a good man. He's a real nice person as an individual. He said, let's see where the polls are in September. Then let's pull the three of them in, sit them down, and let's try to figure this out before it's too late.
Right.
Dealing with the egos that we've got right now, personally, I don't see that happening.
That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. But here's the problem. It's the only way, because
It
they're all
is.
going to split these votes, and
Mhm.
that's going to hurt all of them. It's just, you know what, you were saying JFK, Dan, and how crazy the Democratic Party is today. JFK wouldn't even get a nomination today.
Oh no.
He wouldn't even get nominated.
No, he would actually be considered a Republican.
A Republican. Absolutely
Remember
right.
when we were saying that all along when he was when he's long dead and buried? I think it was through Reagan and Jimmy Carter. We were always saying, you know what? JFK would be considered a Republican.
Yeah.
And that's the truth.
Yep.
So, and in your house, let me ask you, Dan, did you have a picture of the Pope and a picture of JFK? Because every friend of mine that was Irish, you walked into the house, there was the Pope and there was JFK.
And the Virgin Mother.
Oh, right, we can't forget.
I
Had to
had the
have-
Sacred Heart.
You had the
That
Sacred
there's
Heart.
one of, we all had the same.
So I got to ask you, Vicky, in an Italian household, right?
Mhm.
Did you have a Mary on the half shell in front of your house?
I did not. No.
Okay, but you know
I
what I
lived in
mean,
a-
right?
What's that?
You know what a Mary on the half shell is, right?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, everybody has it. Drive through my neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's on just about everybody's lawn. No joke.
Yeah.
In my house, I keep the Virgin Mary,
Mhm.
a statue I have, always on in front of me on my windowsill,
hmm
because you just can't beat her.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
to me.
she's got pretty
We
good connections.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need her. We need her now.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do.
Listen, before, real quick, just something we always do around this time. Vic, just give us 1 second to thank our sponsors of
Mhm.
our great show, goals.com and tacticalgear.com. Thank them so much for helping us out. with our show, with the Gold Shield show. They're a big part of our family. Please check them out at goals.com and tacticalgear.com and use our promo code GOLD15. Get 15% off your purchases. And Goals, one real quick, told them I'd do it today. Goals made a big announcement today that they are now the premier sponsor of the National Law Enforcement Officers Hall of Fame ceremony
Great stuff.
in April, which I am thankfully and honored to be part of, thanks to Dan. So check them out. National Law Enforcement Officers Hall of Fame. Check them out as well, please. Very close family.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very, very much.
Well, so Vicky, real quick question for you. You stand almost on an island in the city council, it would seem, because you see things the way they really are as opposed to the way, I don't know how, and I've seen some video of you in the city council with some of the stuff that people get thrown at you. How do you how do you do it? It's got to be tough. I mean, you're in amongst the den of wolves, you know?
Well, I hope if I sound weird, let me just tell the audience out there, I'm getting so much feedback in my ear. I'm doing the best I can.
Okay.
How do I do it? I don't care. When you get to a certain age, you know what? Sticks and stones, have at it.
I
I don't
love it.
really care
I love it.
because right now I promised the people that hired me and voted for me to do my job that I would go in there, give them total transparency, bring home what I know, and go on as I do a lot of videos and stuff like that to inform people what's real and what's not.
Mhm.
And when it comes to my cops, very outspoken. I've got the endorsement of every single police and law enforcement, and I couldn't wear the badge more proud. And then I got my COs, my correction officers. Their job is from hell.
Oh, you're not
And you
kidding.
got people there that want to beat the hell out of them every chance they get. Now, mind you, I'm not on any of those committees. They wouldn't dare. But I make sure I go to the hearings so that they have to give me the mic. They have to give me my time. And what they love to do is slam that gavel. And when I get, the way I get, I still have 50 seconds to go, 30 seconds to go. And I go, oh, no, 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 no. Your days of gaveling Vicky Palladino are over. If I want to stand on this desk and whistle Dixie for my 2 to 5 minutes, guess what? That's what I'm going to have to do. And you're going to have to listen. That's just the way it goes,
That's it.
Yep.
Oh, it's and
Spoken
it
like
is,
a New Yorker. I love it. I love it.
and Dan's right. I mean, you're just on an island. You're by yourself, and some of the things that come at you are wild. We've seen them all living here and hearing about it. But how I'm trying to word this the right way. What do we do, Vic? What do we do? What can people do that are in New York City who have the ability to vote in this election coming up? What can they do to get it going in the right direction?
Here's the issue, as we talked about. You got division as to who to vote for. We got Curtis, and let's be clear. Curtis is the only one who will actually turn the ship around. With Adams, we know what we have. And I did some talking, back with the migrants, and I stood very firm and I worked very, very well with the Adams administration. I might not have gotten along well with my colleagues in council, and I didn't care. My concern were my district and my constituents. They were very good to me. Adams did not want this mess. Say what you like, love him, hate him, whatever. The bottom line is this: as soon as he took it up with Trump, and as soon as he went to Washington and he took his stand, at that point, I was doing a lot of Newsmax and Fox, and I was blaming it on Hochul because that's where it belonged. She didn't give us anything, nothing. And this ended up costing us close to $16 billion. Think of the numbers we're talking about.
Unbelievable.
So now you got Adams, who's moving center, and they hate him in council. For the last 3 years, 7 months, all I did was listen to the way they would just make a punching bag out of him.
Mhm.
So I told him once, I said, listen, do you want to win in 25 or not? Just let me know.
Mhm.
Because if you keep going, kowtowing to the left that hates your guts, and you saw that they did by what they did to him after Trump let him go a little bit with his these accusations. Uh, he just did what he did. He couldn't stand firm. And I told him, the people don't want to see you blowing in the breeze, left to right to middle. No, take a stand. Who cares if they beat you up? Who
Mhm.
cares? That you will actually have a chance in 25. Now, like I said, we already tore up Cuomo, so there's no sense going there. But is what's going to happen? I don't know what to tell people. I
Right.
truly don't, and that bewilders me. I mean, I would love to stand here and say, vote for Curtis. Absolutely, as a Republican, vote for Curtis.
Is that who it's going to be? Yeah. Is that who's going to be standing in November? Right.
I don't
Um,
know.
Mm.
Curtis Sliwa is a real New Yorker. We talk about New Yorkers. He's not somebody who just passed through. He's a real New Yorker. When he started
Hmm.
his guardian angels back in the 70s, it was at a point in New York City where anybody who was getting on a subway car that you were on that was there to do the right thing, you were so happy to see.
Absolutely.
We had low numbers of cops because of layoffs. We had high rates of crime, and he starts this civilian group of people to go around and patrol the subways and help people.
Hmm.
And they did a lot of good things.
Yeah.
They weren't perfect, but they did a lot of good things, and he made a name for himself. And then he had a great radio talk show that he did. He's very well spoken and very sharp, and I think there's a lot to be said for that. I wonder if his age is getting up there, if the energy level is there. I don't know him personally, but I just think of the field that I see right now, he's the one that I think makes the most sense every time I hear him open his
Well,
mouth.
he does. Let's be honest. Right now, like I told you, he is the only one that could turn this ship around. Is
Hmm.
he smart? He's brilliant. When you talk about New York and what he wants to do, and the way I know he will put very good people where they need to be.
Hmm.
I know Curtis very well. We
Hmm.
campaigned together in 21. He was running for mayor. I had a very strong following in my district, and he and we would go out together. The guy just knows his stuff.
Hmm.
Mm.
And he, like you said, is articulate.
Hmm.
The problem I think people have is, as opposed to 21, where he kept on his guardian angel uniform and all of that, it's something to be proud of. He now has guardian angels in 43 countries.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, you're not a stupid man if you are managing this kind of
Hmm.
organization. So
Yep.
now he took off his red suit and he put on a real suit. So, me personally, I don't care. But he keeps on his beret. Nothing wrong with the beret. Why force him to take off what he feels is such a part of who he is.
Yeah, and he's proud of it.
And
And
he's
he's proud of it.
proud of
And
it.
he can be. You know, we just had a comment from Deborah, and it says, "I don't live in New York, but I'm praying for you." Now that says it all, right?
It sure
I mean,
does.
that says it all.
It's
People
pretty
around the
bad.
country praying for New York. So, listen, Vicky, we got 5 more minutes. Please tell us what you're doing. What do you got coming up in your political world?
Well, right now, it's just about my reelection. It's my final 4 years.
Mhm.
And I'm concentrating on that. I hope I do well. I mean, I slam dunked it, but I don't take anything for granted.
Mm.
And Curtis made a very good point. I have a very large Republican club, probably the biggest in the state. We had 300 people. I keep it bouncing. And we meet the second Wednesday of every month. I started it from scratch and I've never missed a meeting. We have great speakers. And last Wednesday night, we had our meeting. We had Mike Lawler, we had Curtis Sliwa, and we had Dove Hyken. These are the type of names that I get.
Mhm.
And the place was packed. And one thing Curtis said, which I was so glad about, that Vicky's running for re-election also. And do you really want to play bingo with the ballot? You go here for this, you go here for that, you go here for that. Where's Vicky? So please do us all a favor and just vote Republican down the line because our ballots are extremely confusing.
Mm.
And they
Yeah.
do that, on purpose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it couldn't be better said. The divide between the Republican and Democratic Party in this country, and maybe even more so in New York City, could not be more starker. It has never been more stark and obvious, the difference. The radical left versus the common sense right, who are trying to build and restore, versus those that are tearing down and destroying. And I don't understand where they think it's going to go. How can a learned person, an educated person, look at a guy like this guy Mandami, see what he's saying, and say, "Oh
Hmm.
yeah, he's got my vote. Oh yeah, he can run the greatest city in the world." It's
At
just
32, with never having a job in his life.
Nope.
Until, does everybody know? He became an American citizen only 7 years ago
Mhm.
in order to run for the New York State Assembly, which he
Right.
won.
What you?
He comes from Astoria. That's where he grew up. And Astoria is Tiffany Caban land, and that's a fellow colleague in city council. You couldn't get more radical than she. As a matter of fact, for those out there who know Queens or know New York, we have a DA in Melinda Katz. Just to give you an idea, several election cycles ago, Tiffany Caban, at only 30 years ago, nearly beat Melinda Katz by 27 votes. That's what Melinda won by
wow.
Right.
against this radical left wing progressive. Okay, now we're 4 years in, 6 years in, and we got Mamdavi. So this could definitely happen.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I pray to God all the time. We've got to make people understand. Come out. If you're not registered, please register to vote. And you're going to have to make a decision between Cuomo, Adams, and Sliwa.
Right.
Sliwa made it very clear the only way he's getting out is in a pine box.
Yep. And you know what? I hope everyone takes your advice, and you know, you got to vote. If you want to impact the city you live in, you have to vote. And hopefully they all listen to it. But Vic, this was exactly what we wanted, exactly what we thought. when we set this up. So thank you so very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I hope I sounded okay.
You sound
Oh,
great.
Because I
hon.
feel like I'm slurring, and
Nope.
I'm not.
Nope. All good.
No, you sounded great, and you know
Thank
what?
you.
Your insights and well, first of all, your love for the city and the people and your constituents is so obvious. And so
Thank you.
you are not a politician; you're a true
No.
representative of your people, and I think that's the difference between what we see a lot nowadays. You don't see a lot of true representation; you see a lot of
No.
politicians.
Yep.
And the second thing is everything you say about New York City is absolutely correct, 100%. It is a gem. It is a gem for the world that needs to be preserved, nurtured, and rebuilt. We
Yep.
cannot let it die. It's too
No.
important.
Yes,
Right.
it
And
is.
who you vote for matters. Vicky, you
That's
do
right.
an amazing job representing your district, your people, your folks, your constituents in New York City. Thank you for doing that. And I hope your election is a landslide again this year.
Thank
And
you.
we look forward to talking to you more in the future. You're a
Wonderful.
treasure.
Yes. Let's try to get it together again, maybe in September.
Oh, we
Where
will. Oh,
we
you
will
ain't.
have a real feel of exactly what the hell's going on.
You don't get you don't get rid of us that
Oh,
easy.
that's good. Very
Oh
good.
no.
All right. Thanks. This was a wonderful time.
Yep. Don't
Thank you
go
so
anywhere
much.
yet. All right. We just want to mention something to you. Okay. Everyone out there, stay safe. Thank you for joining us on Law and Disorder this week. And next week, we'll have another great topic. Don't know what it is yet, but we'll figure it out. Everyone out there, stay safe. Dan, have a great night. Vicky, again, thank you so much. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
That
That
was
was
great.
that was great, Vicky.